going live. All right, and we're live. Free game thoughts.
Oh, not on my end. My bad.
Oh, you said you were ready, to be fair.
I thought you were ready.
I was.
I love the hearts whenever Miss Podcast talks.
I know, isn't it so cute?
It's so good.
I thought it would be ready. Like, I haven't used Streamlabs in so long. Hold on, let me.
Well, free game.
Copy the stream.
We thought you would have been ready too.
You know, yeah, I was expecting it.
At least we're all on the same page with this one. Well, I guess while
you know what?
Free
It
Game's doing
happened.
that.
We were having tech issues last time.
So
I was.
Attack on Titan, The Last Attack is what we're streaming today, and I've already seen the movie.
No, you didn't. You won.
I guess I'm just not allowed to. Sheesh.
No, we're not allowed. No introductions allowed yet.
Apparently. Well, stream, how you doing tonight? Hey guys, hey, Power to 99 in space. Hello, hello everyone.
Are we having a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah, everyone. Did you V today?
Okay, that sounds weird. When you say it like that.
I'm about to do that.
Okay, well, Camcam, what if I word it like this? Did you guys do the Valentining?
Well, I mean, I did. I sent you a little card, and I sent you a gift, so.
So there you go.
I also sent Calmly a card and a gift as well.
Because OT romance is awful. Rip. To be fair, Space, I do think Armin and Annie has decent writing, just not necessarily romance-wise.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's conceptually there. Like, it's great in contrast to Eren and Mikasa.
Yes.
But then that's also weird because it's like we have a trio and two of the trio got together, whereas one of them is like a separate thing. So I feel like if anything, Mikasa should have just loved someone else and we should have seen like that angle. And then Eren should have loved someone else. And then we see Eren failure, Armin succeed, and then Mikasa shows a third thing. That's a whole other conversation.
I feel like then that would be a totally different. That would be just like a shoujo. You know?
Well, I mean, if that's what they're going for, is that Armin and Annie succeeded, whereas Mikasa and Eren failed. Same with Ymir and King Fritz. So they're already doing like a 3-people thing. It's like either Eren or Mikasa was just left out in a weird way. Depending how you see it.
Yeah, it wasn't like fully developed. Because it was always just like Eren kind of just. I feel like Eren kind of saw Mikasa as like a bother, but
Yeah, and then they gave Historia a whole thing with the farmer. That doesn't.
Randomly, her bully that used to throw rocks at her. Couldn't be me.
Like if they're gonna,
you're better than that.
If they're gonna do romance in terms of wanting it to be written in on purpose to where that's like the point, to contrast the other romance in the series, which is also the point, then at least stick with Ymir, who did have narrative romantic ties, which was the point. That was actually written well based on like the core themes of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, exactly. We should have just kept that, but
even if I didn't like Ymir,
they should left it as is. Because I kind of feel like there was no point in Historia having a baby. I feel like they were gonna do something with that, and then it just was left on the. It was just left on the side. They were like, "Oh well, we don't need it, so whatever."
Space says Eren loving someone else. We all know who that would be. Camcam, do you know who that would be?
Who would that be?
I don't know. Guess we don't all know after all. Eren, the truth gaslighting terrorist. Well, Space, if you want to
gaslighting terrorist. Eren is.
Just like Naruto.
Oh, stop. Not Naruto. Now my sweet baby angel.
Sweet baby angel. Well, free game. How's it going on your end?
Having technical issues. I'll be right back with you.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Speaking of people's ends, that's a very ominous and bleak way of saying that. So Kamui's end tonight is working / not with us, so that's why he's not here. But Camcam and Free Game are to talk about Attack on Titan.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the movie, so you know.
but Camcam, you're going to.
Okay, look, this movie theater is even farther away
But is it in 4DX?
than the original one.
It's not.
Like, because the one that I guess was showing the special, they only showed it for one day and that was it. So this other movie theater is the only one that's showing it. And I'm like, that's even farther away. What the heck? And I've never been there before.
Space says I was speaking of Historia, so I guess Aaron X Historia was something that Space was saying a lot of. But
Oh, yeah. That was kind of like people were kind of suspecting they were going to get together.
I
But,
see it.
Like, I just kind of felt like in season, or maybe they're kind of talking about season 3. Because I kind of felt like in season 3, I just thought maybe it's just like a blossoming friendship, you know?
Yeah, Aaron's like one of the only people that like never showed any romantic interest in Historia. Is there any scene where he did at all? Like a blush or anything? I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, like
He was just like
Ryan
friendly
like
with her.
wanted to like smell her socks or whatever in the finale. What was it again?
Smell her socks.
I forget. It was smell
Ew.
something. I think it was her hair. Was it her hair?
I don't know.
Reiner the whole time's like, I'm gonna marry that girl. It's crazy.
Oh,
Her handwriting.
he was like
her
smelling
clothes.
her letter. Reiner was like smelling Historia's letter. And was like, oh, it smells
Yes,
just like
he
her.
was smelling the letter, but then he said something about smelling her.
That it smelled like her, I think. is what he
Yeah,
said.
but it was something about a part of her, I thought. Like her clothes or something. I don't know. I thought he said
I
something.
don't know, maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but he's still kind of creepy, okay?
Man, imagine writing that into your final scene.
And that was Rob's last line. What a way to go out, man.
That is Reiner's end of his character arc.
Yeah, like falling in love with a lesbian, wow. Still being in love with a lesbian, wow.
We got that, but not Aaron and Reiner talking in the past. Just want to remind you.
Oh my god.
All right, my technical issues is over. I'm sorry. I had to do an introduction for my my viewers. But yeah, so we got Ood and we got my girl Camcam on.
Hey.
You know, like I said, we're talking about the Attack on Titan theatrical showcase. And Camcam said she didn't see it because it's too far from her. I'm probably gonna send her money for an Uber so she can go see it. So because she has to, like everybody has to see this.
You know
Yeah,
what?
Cam
That
Cam.
would be great. I would definitely see it.
After all Attack on Titan fans went to see this movie.
Oh,
I sure
from
did. It was like 10 people in there when I went though. I'm not.
from the
all
looks
10
of the
fans.
seating chart that I showed Oodie just before we started stream, I don't think so.
Yeah, the seating chart on the movie that's showing after the one and only day it was advertised to show that movie, just to make sure we're talking on the same page here.
Oh, why do they advertise it as
Because
like the
they're
one and only day? and then continue showing it?
stupid, smelly, dummy idiot.
I feel like you're not trying to get your bag, you know?
I feel like that might low-key be part of the genius marketing, though, because if they didn't market it as that one day and it was just like a normal movie, I low-key just might have not gone to see it at all.
Oh yeah, it's still playing right by me.
I feel like making it
this is
time
far.
sensitive.
It's like 10 miles away. at
Yeah, mine
11
was
o'clock.
30
I might still
minutes.
go see it.
Ooh, interesting. I want to go see it again in 4DX because I didn't even know that was a thing. C Tactics, a YouTuber with 100K subscribers, mentioned that this was a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing. But no, Attack on Titan is in 4DX apparently. So it's not just one screen. There's like 3 screens for like your peripheral vision. The audio can like go behind you. They like blast you with wind and water and move your seats and stuff. It's like a whole roller coaster. It's crazy, and the sound is insane.
I don't think we have that where I'm at.
But it's coming soon in 4DX. You click it and it says nothing. So I don't know. I don't know when, where, how, but apparently it was, at least for one day only. Maybe that's the one day only it was in theaters. It was only for 4DX for one day. But that's not what they said. So
you know what's crazy about this whole situation? Me and Bara, we had our last podcast and we was talking about Attack on Titan. I was saying, man, they should have played that in the movie theaters. Like, they should have had at least the rumbling playing in the movie theaters. And we got both, the rumbling and the ending finale.
I'm saying, I was there for the rumbling, and that's it. That's the only reason I went.
What? You didn't stay?
No, I stayed. But that's what sold that ticket. What's the rumbling?
So who do you guys think, who do you think was right or wrong in the whole situation? Like, who do you think, is I see a lot of people who are conflicted on who the actual villain is.
Yep.
I think Eren is a villain, honestly, but I don't think anybody had the right solution. I feel like everybody was in a state of fight or flight, that they could not think rationally and think of the best way to save the world. And that's why Eldia Parody ended up being destroyed in the end.
Well, Camcam,
because the cycle of violence kept going on.
Attack on Titan does paint the picture of what the correct answer is. If you remember, Yelena's end of her character arc, final dialogue in the entire show, not final scene, because she has 2 scenes after this, namely in the finale montage where she's alive, and in the scene where the boat is blown up after Falco's transformation, in the middle of the ocean to where there's no way they could have possibly got to land. So those 2 scenes that she survived, but aside from those, her final dialogue is her talking to Hanji and the rest, and she's like, all right, guys, admit it. Zeke was right. And Hanji, her only response to that was, I admit it. I have no other solution. Zeke was right. And that's just it. So that was Yelena's character arc. It's just the series just saying Yelena was right. Just unequivocally. Like, there was no backlash, no counter, no point, nothing. It was just she was right. Hanji just straight up admitted it. And there was no but, ands, or ifs about it. So.
Yeah, but that could have been her personal opinion, not...
Okay, well, it was her personal opinion that genocide was wrong. Aren't you saying that's what Isayama was trying to say?
Because everybody agreed and everybody was like, yeah, genocide's wrong. Like,
well,
let's go.
There was a lot of people in that room. No one disagreed.
I mean, but genocide can come from the form of euthanasia too, because you can't have children. So that's a genocide of a whole race.
It is, yes. Which we did have a discussion with Oodie about. Because Oodie did not think it was genocide. And I said, under the definition of genocide, that is a genocide. So.
Yeah. Like, for instance, if the government wanted to get rid of the entire black race and they put some in fried chicken to euthanize us, that's genocide. They got rid of all of us because we all eat fried chicken. I'm just playing.
No, you're good.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying.
Do that to black and Mexicans when they did end up like doing hysterectomies and stuff like that.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah. I heard about that.
So, you know.
I don't remember this conversation. What was the...
Zeke wasn't right, though, and Eren wasn't right. I mean, Zeke was right in the way that his form of genocide wouldn't cause any, like, traumatic casualties, and Eren's was, like, this, like, he wanted to create like chaos. So like Zeke's form would have been like mild. It wouldn't really like cause an uproar or like anything would have happened from him. All of that race would have just disappeared because they couldn't reproduce.
I mean, hey, tell it to Hanji. Who's apparently just the narrator of the series from Camcam's perspective. Isayama himself embodied this soul and not.
Man, hey, you know what was like one of my favorite parts in the movie though?
Yeah.
It was when when they was trying to start the plane and what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Hanji?
She sacrificed herself. Hanji, yeah, right. Yeah, you just said her name. That's crazy. Yeah, Hanji, she sacrificed herself, bro. Like that shit was epic. Like I saw it on like my computer when I watched it on Crunchyroll, but in theaters, bro, like 10 times better.
All right, so rewatching that scene, I don't remember if we originally talked about this. I don't think we did, not this specific aspect. So the people fueling the plane said it's going to take an hour. Maybe they rushed to do it quicker, maybe in half an hour, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. But the rumbling is coming over the mountain.
Yeah, we did
at
talk
the
about this.
start of the. Well, maybe not this aspect. I'm setting the context.
Okay.
So this tells me the speed of the rumbling, how fast it's moving. And is it just me or is the rumbling incredibly slow? Because it wasn't like a big town or anything. It just moved to them over the course of an hour that we're led to believe. Like they never said they were doing it quicker or anything. It just said it would take an hour and then they just started doing it. So either Eren was intentionally slowing those titans down, or Hanji stalled them for like 58 minutes slower than they otherwise would have. But like looking at it in like Liberia when they're doing the rumbling there, and pretty much every other instance of the rumbling should just be way faster. It makes the rumbling feel less threatening at the very least.
Not really. They kind of escaped them. It looked like they was moving slow, but they were huge. So like one step to them was probably like 40 miles.
Well, Freegan,
So
but you
it
say
wasn't
that.
coming slow, but just from that perspective.
It's not about what
Yeah.
it looks like. It's about the distance they were actually covering. We can see how far it is from when they come over the mountaintops to when they like get to the plane, which is seemingly an hour's time. So we see the distance that they're having to span, and we know the amount of time it took them to do that. It's kind of weird to me.
What was the span?
If you... Let's see if we can pull up some pictures of it. So, Hanji death scene. Just gonna pull it up.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this, but like I don't remember in depth because
I don't think we've talked about the
it has
speed.
been so long.
But
Probably
we
been
might
about a
have.
year ago.
I feel like we definitely
honestly.
talked about a lot of different aspects of it, but like the speed in particular. Okay.
I
So,
remember
share
us
my
talking about the
screen.
speed, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna actually play it, so no worries there. But like, it's just like a town, just like a normal town, and they're like on one end of it, and the rumbling is on the other end of it. See if I can get a good image of it. Here's her fighting it. So. And so another thing that didn't really make sense to me, unless Eren's controlling them not to do this in a specific way, we see whenever the rumbling is walking through Liberia that they're like just walking through buildings, and that building is like exploding debris to launch miles in front of them, basically. That's how Ramsey's brother died and how Ramsey got caught underneath the rubble to get trumbled. That just doesn't happen here. Like they're just barely making it out by the skin of their teeth from the feet. And just there's no rubble or anything that gets launched up in the air from the Titans walking through this town. So I don't really understand that, especially considering the beginning of the show shows you what happens when the attack Titan, or sorry, the Colossal Titan kicks anything. It just launches a firework of rubble, might as well be. It just lands everywhere on the building. So that doesn't make any sense to me. But Camcam, thoughts on that?
Yeah, like when it landed on that kid.
Yeah. You can see at the very least from this shot, the plane's here, the rumbling's over here. it shouldn't have taken so long. Like, if anything, they should have just like reworded it for like an
I
hour to like
agree.
10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. Let's just
I
show the
agree.
speed.
I think it's what you said. It was from Hans slowing it down.
But can Hanji slow him down that much? Like, because she has a limited number of thunder spears. I think she brought 4, and I think we saw all 4 that she fired. And so she can like trip a Titan 4 times, but it's gonna take a colossal Titan like what 20 seconds to stand back up and keep marching.
But when she makes one of them fall, it's like a domino effect. The ones
Yeah.
behind them fall as well.
Well, it was only like 2 or 3 behind him every time. But even if we want to give her the benefit of doubt and say every single colossal Titan fell, it would still take 20 seconds for the totality of all the colossal Titans to stand back up. Keep moving.
Hey man, plot armor.
See, with this stuff, I always tell Oodie and Kami, I'm like, I don't care.
I know you don't. We can move on to something else. So, okay, here's an aspect
no, I'm fine. Y'all can talk about this, but I'm just like giving my opinion since Free Game gave his opinion and I'm giving mine. Because I'm just like the speed of it. I'm just like I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about like the characters and the emotional moment and like Hanji sacrificing herself and like.
Yeah.
Are they going to make it in time? I'm thinking about all those things. I'm not thinking about, wait, like how fast are the Titans walking?
But this is for like a logistics standpoint to like look at how fast they're going across the entire world. Because I mean, we get like a time frame of how long it's going to take Eren to do this. I think they say 3 days. I could be wrong on that. Maybe a week. I don't remember. But again, we see the Titans moving through other areas, and also just them getting off of Paradis, and the fact that it takes a plane to cross the sea to get to the rumbling at Fort Salta or wherever they need to go. The distance just doesn't make sense. So that's all I'm saying there. But yeah. So
you're saying they should have made it in logical terms?
I'm saying if it takes an hour to fuel that plane, they would have died 55 minutes before they fueled the plane.
Oh, they said that they didn't fill it all the way though.
They only had enough time to fuel it halfway. It's not the fueling. The fueling doesn't take long. In fact, they didn't calculate for the fueling time at all, so realistically it would take over an hour. The hour was just to weld the holes that Flock shot into the plane. Yeah, because they were going to like weld something over it. But I don't know, maybe the engineers, who are engineers, mind you, just grossly miscalculated how long that takes by like 6 times.
Hey, adrenaline, baby.
This is before the rumbling started showing. It was right after this. I didn't even know the rumbling was right behind them. Could be adrenaline
bro. Flock. Like, shit. They was trying to get the fuck up out of there. I don't blame them.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so a different aspect of this that currently I think makes no sense, but like I do think this does make sense. I'm just missing something here. So I do think there is a obvious explanation that I'm just forgetting. So the rumbling happens and they're in Paradis. So they're inside and the rumbling is going outwards. So how do they get in front of the rumbling in the first place to be in the situation? Because they just take the boat. They don't fly yet, right? Because otherwise they have to fly over the rumbling, but then that's weird that we don't get that scene because they're going to be wondering like, where's Eren or whatever. I feel like we should have seen that at least.
Wait, repeat that real quick.
So they start before the rumbling, like they're behind the rumbling as the rumbling is marching forwards, and then here they are in front of the rumbling. How did it get like that?
Are you playing it on the screen? Because I don't remember what you're talking about.
No, but like just in general. So like during Hanji's sacrifice, the reason Hanji has to sacrifice herself is because the rumbling is about to march forwards onto them. Why are they in front of the rumbling? How did they get in front of it?
I feel like they might have explained the timing of it. Like, oh, if we leave now, we'll be in the, like, if the Titans are going this fast or something. I don't know. But I feel like if they had stopped here on this island or this town, that would like spare them some time so they wouldn't have to like deal with the Titans. You know what I mean? Like they would get there before it would be destroyed by the rumbling. You know what I mean?
But my thing with that is, again, they would have to go in front of it. My only way I could see is if they're not flying over it, which I'm pretty sure we know they didn't since they just took a boat here, would be if the rumbling isn't actually moving in a circular pattern and is going in like very distinct designated areas. So they're like, it's almost like a parting of the sea to where they're just going through it and they don't even like see it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that at least was the case with the rumbling when it first started, because the rumbling, as we know, is like circling all of Paradis with walls, but then we see that Eren is controlling the Titans to like walk in a line as to not trample Paradis itself, like the city. So he is like avoiding them in that kind of way. At the very least. But then again, it's also
like,
weird that he kills Hanji here for no reason.
Oh, free game real quick. Somebody is saying you need to fix your audio on YouTube. I don't know.
Oh.
But
fix my audio.
It says, sounds like you were OTP with somebody. Fix your audio on YouTube. JB said it. I don't know if you know who that is, but
Overtime party? I don't know.
Yeah, what's OTP? What is that? What is that shorthand for?
I don't know. It says the audio from Oodie is low. Can't hear. So it's Oodie's audio.
Oh, on the phone. It sounds like you're on the phone with somebody.
Yeah, it's Oodie.
Yeah, wait, what?
Me? Yeah, they're saying Oodie. Yeah.
I mean, it should be
sounds
good.
fine on my end.
Yeah, I think that's a.
Hey, you sound fine on my end too.
Does Camcam sound weird?
Is it just on stream, maybe?
Stream? Here, I'll look up your stream
pause.
really quick just to make sure. Yeah, we'll pause.
I'm about to say, let me mute real quick, and I was going to check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen right now.
Yeah, they're saying Oodie. Yeah. Hey, you sound fine on my end too.
Yeah, I can't even hear me on free game stream.
Over the party.
I love it.
Look, we're trying to figure it out, okay? But thank you for clarifying, GB.
Thank you, GB. Hi, Millennium Talky. Yeah, for game, I don't think they can hear me or Camcam.
Oh. So
I think you're having the desktop audio muted, is my guess. I don't know. But what's up, GB?
Bro, my brain is in my car. They can hear you now.
They can hear us now?
Yeah.
Oh.
They can.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I had it muted because I did an intro and just totally forgot to unmute you guys.
Okay. Well, that's a great segue to advertise the Walky Talky podcast stream. If you want to catch the first 10 minutes of what we were saying, go check it out on our stream. All right. So we're going to like go off of the previous point to make another point here. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another question. So we know that like how the plane got away from the rumbling because they were in front of it. The rumbling was about to stomp on them, and then they like flew forward so that they would avoid being stomped on. But what about the boat? Specifically the one that like Annie and the engineers and like Falco and Gabby and the Azumabito were taking? Because they were in front of the rumbling too, right?
The small boat is what you're talking about?
So, remember when Annie just doesn't go to find Eren, and she just, like, goes on the boat?
Yeah.
Well, that boat is in front of the rumbling,
right?
Correct?
That's what I thought. I thought they were in front of the rumbling, because that's why they were going there, because they were like, if we head here, then we'll be in front of the rumbling. Like, we'll be safe. So I think they had to leave at a certain amount of time in order to avoid the rumbling, basically.
Why would they do that? No, I don't understand that. Because what do you mean avoid the rumbling? They're in front of it. The rumbling's going to go stomp on them.
because they needed to go here because there was a fueling station here, right? At that, what's showing on the screen. There's a fueling station there.
Yeah.
So they don't. So that's the only place that like wasn't destroyed yet, where they could fuel and get supplies and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Because the
talking about
rumbling hadn't
after
gotten there
this.
yet. Oh, after that?
Yeah. So they
Then what are you
refuel the
talking- I don't know what you're
plane,
talking about then.
and then they like fly away, and then
Yeah.
afterwards they dock somewhere, and Annie and the engineers and the Osmobito get off the plane to get on a boat with Falco and Gabby and Yelena, because they aren't going to go fight Eren.
I thought they stayed on that boat. I didn't know they
Yeah,
docked and then
yeah,
got off.
I think they stayed on the boat too. They made
Yeah.
them like they was holding the door for them so they couldn't like break out. They stayed on that boat.
We know the Osmobito got in the plane because they were on the boat later, and they weren't trampled here, obviously.
Yeah, because they was on those like little boats. They got away like that rich chick. I can't remember her name. Like the one
The
that
Osmobito
said she
lady.
called her. Yeah, she got away, and then they was all on those little boats.
I mean, from my perspective, it's like they're in front of the rumbling and they're getting on a boat. Like, again, I think I'm just missing something here, but
Maybe
it
we need to
seems.
go back and rewatch the scene later or something. But
Yeah, it just seems dangerous. So, Camcam, maybe once you watch the movie, you can like let us know on that, because I thought that was weird. Because it's like it seems like they're going back to like their country for safety or whatever, because they're not fighting, but like they're in
not
front
going
of
back
it.
to their.
Well,
They're
okay.
not going back to their
Well, where are
country, I
they
don't think.
going? Because they're on the boat going somewhere.
I think they're trying to just get
Find
away, like
something,
far away
yeah.
from it.
There has to be other islands. Like that's one thing that everyone was just upset about. Like he was upset about like Armin's book. Armin's book displayed a outside world that he didn't experience, and he was upset about that. Like he thought it was going to be like glamorous in this like spectacular world, but it wasn't that. When he finally realized reality, and that when he went over to the other island, that it was like the same thing as where he came from, he was upset. But one thing about that though is like he never really got to explore anything. He just went to two islands, so like he never really got to like go out and like really explore and see what the world was really about. He like came to a conclusion based off of what is it? Island of Paradise, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think it's definitely interesting that Armin was like seeing the beauty outside the walls, but Eren wasn't. I think there is a misconception there. I wrote a whole script thing about it for what people think is happening there versus what I think is actually happening there for why Eren can't see the beauty. It's not that he's not seeing it, it's that the enemies are making that beauty ugly until he deals with those enemies. He knows it's there, he just can't focus on it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
That's like the
but
Cliff Notes version.
Why
I
not
thought
though? Oh, I'm sorry, Cam. Go ahead.
I thought Aaron was being like a little bit more selfish about it. He wanted a uncharted, like untainted world that he could explore for himself. And once he realized that there are people everywhere and like things had already been explored, he was like, ew, gross. Like, what the heck?
Exactly. Because the thing is that they were just
I'm using
enemies.
shorthand, basically, I'm doing girl talk, but
She said, ew, gross.
Because I think throwing two different scenarios at you just hypothetically, if there just were no humans outside the wall and Parody just was it, once Eren gets to the sea at season 3, he's seeing the beauty. There's nothing else beyond the sea that he wants to go crush or whatever. He'll probably want to go across the sea just to go see more things from Armin's book, but that's beside the point. So the second factor is, if there are humans across the sea, but they aren't enemies of Paradis. Like, they weren't sending Titans their way or whatever. So, like, all of Grisha's memories are just positive and happy. He's just chilling over across the sea. He just wanted to come to Paradis for like a vacation or something. Then I think Eren is in the same boat to where, yeah, there's people over there, but he doesn't really care. So he's just seeing the beauty of the sea rather than looking across it to like want to crush his enemies. But does anyone
But
disagree?
I think Aaron would be bored though. I think he would still be like, even if the world was like peaceful
I agree.
and like happy, and Grisha had happy memories, he'd just be like, I'm bored. There's nothing to like do.
Exactly, because of the weird gag manga thing that he did that you were showing me.
Yeah, there's no apocalypse. What the heck?
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about him?
But at
like,
least he would
being
enjoy it
able-
until afterwards, of which he would find
Yeah.
some new goal.
How would y'all feel about the revelation that like he lives in like the time? The
Hate to
future,
go back to
present, and
the
past?
boat thing, but the boat was really slow, and to be fair, maybe the rumbling was slow too, which is kind of funny based on the previous conversation of why maybe the boat would just outlast the Titans or whatever. But like, I feel like the boat would at least need to refuel or something. We see that the Titans can swim pretty fast, at least, regardless of how fast they can walk. And the fog, the smoke, the steam, whatever, it was just gonna like burn them the same way it did the military fleet commander world people militia that was assigned to go stop the rumbling in Marley. So I feel like they would have just like all burned to death once the rumbling caught up to them. It should be behind them. They should be in front of it. So I don't know. My thoughts on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Weird. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like their only
How do y'all
way,
feel?
because they don't know whether or not everyone on the boat or the plane is going to go actually stop Eren. They're going to go try, but there's no guarantee that they're going to do it or how long it's going to take to do it. So I feel like going on the boat is almost like a risking your own death sentence for almost no reason. Like, Jakopone wasn't fighting Eren. To be fair, he was passed out. I don't know what he would have done if he wasn't passed out, but like, I feel like you could be on the plane and not fight Eren as well.
Yeah. But no.
But then again, I guess the plane was behind the rumbling. So I don't know how they got behind it. Did they just like pull a 180 once they pulled out of this fort?
Girl, I don't know.
No, they landed the plane.
Guys, that's...
They landed the
What were you
plane.
saying, Free Game?
Like, about what?
Oh, just before Oodie said thoughts?
Oh, yeah, before he cut me off so rudely.
I couldn't hear, my bad. My headphones were messed up. I didn't realize anyone was talking, which is why I was talking, because I was trying to fill the space.
Oh, yeah, space was filled. How do y'all feel about, like, the revelation that, like, Eren can see, like, not see, but he lives in future, the past, and, like, the current timeline?
So, this doesn't make sense to me unless we're saying that the kid in the future got the Attack Titan and Eren can see that, because Eren is the last Attack Titan. So I don't understand how Eren is seeing the future. We know for a fact he is, because that's what Historia says in her letter at the very end. That, like, it's been like 3 years since then, and Eren was like, yeah, this is the future that I saw, and I saw up to this point. But it's like, so he's seeing 3 years past his death? Question mark.
Yeah.
Am I misinterpreting
That's
that?
right. And then, like, what's her name? The main chick. Damn,
Mikasa?
names. No, not Mikasa.
Ymir?
Ymir, yeah. She was like pretty much like affecting Mikasa. Like the poetic thing that I like about Attack on Titan is like from episode 1 to the season finale, they like loop everything back together. Like the headache she was having, everything like that, that was caused by Ymir. So, like, how do y'all feel about that? Like that revelation as well. Like that was caused by Ymir, because it was always said that like she only had those headaches because she was like destined to protect Armin. I mean, not Armin.
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah.
Camcam, do you want to go
I
first?
I did like that because it does show there is a connection between that Ymir and Mikasa. They did have a similar connection where they were like die hard, like toxic lovers. I will follow you till the end of the earth kind of thing. But Ymir was kind of leading Mikasa a little bit into like a I want to say like maybe a more healthier dynamic with the self. And by giving her some insight, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
almost through the headaches. But I also
Mm.
think that the headaches too, because like we see with the Lost Girls that every time she does like have a headache, she does kind of like go back into like a different timeline as well.
Mm.
So I'm like,
At the beginning,
is that totally a mirror?
has to be. I mean,
Do we know if that
the
OVA is canon?
Ackermans are half Titans, though. They experiment on them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right.
The in-universe explanation I could come up with, aside from timey, whiny shenanigans, would be that isn't like an alternate timeline or anything. That's just the same thing that Eren was doing in the finale with the cabin scene. So Ymir is like showing her via the paths some other alternate timeline that it could have gone, and then just erasing her memories afterwards. Is a possibility.
Because it was always showing that something either way, Aaron was always going to be too far away from her and something bad was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
So
So Cam, maybe you can like explain something to me about the headaches in particular. So we know, I know, this is very specific. We know the Ackermans get headaches, like all of them, whenever they're like disobeying their loved one or whatever it is. I get the explanation. You don't have to. I'm just summarizing right now. So, but then it's also explained that Ymir is showing all these things to Mikasa or whatever, and that's when she gets the headaches. Why was Ymir making them specifically headaches when we know that Ymir could just show her it without it being a headache? so was she just timing it up with her natural headaches anyways, or was she making it specifically a headache as opposed to normal? And that's like just more incentive to be like, oh yeah, Mikasa overcame even her headaches. Yeah, I'll believe in her and have her save me.
she overcame her disability, basically. I didn't think that all the Ackermans got headaches though. I don't think it was all the Ackermans that got headaches.
It's whatever I think Zeke tells Eren, which Eren then tells Mikasa at the table.
Yeah, no, and Zeke said like, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, Zeke says like, no, that's not a thing, but Eren uses it anyways.
Okay.
Maybe it was like, maybe it wasn't a headache. Maybe it was like a sensation she was having, and she just like equated
with
it
Ymir like
to a
fucking
headache.
with her.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like it hurt her head, so at the very least, her head was aching.
Yeah, like
as in like
she was having in her head.
As in, it wasn't a natural headache. It was Ymir getting inside of her head to show her something.
I agree, but so is that saying that Ymir can't be inside her head without it being a headache?
All right, like let me equate it to like you watch Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Vegeta went and let Bobby control his mind, and he became Super Vegeta?
Yeah.
Majin Vegeta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like signifying like traits of having a headache. He was holding his head and stuff like that, but he wasn't having a headache. He was just having a sensation from Bobby taking over his brain.
So I agree. But Freegame, what I'm saying is, why is it specifically like that, as opposed to, using the Dragon Ball analogy, when Goku is telling Krillin at the end of the Saiyan arc to not kill Vegeta, he's just using like his mind powers to talk to him, telekinesis, whatever you want to say it is. And that's not making Krillin have a headache. Like, he's just doing the mind transmission Ino Yamanaka style jutsu on Krillin there, and it's just fine.
He's not taking control of his brain. He's like using a form of telekinesis.
Oh, I don't think Ymir
that
was taking
Ymir is
control of her
doing-
brain. So I think the point
No,
is that
I'm not
Ymir
saying
wanted to see
she's-
Mikasa do it on her own.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I don't think she was using telekinesis. I think like Ymir's power was like beyond comprehension.
So
And Millennium Kage, maybe the headaches were due to Mikasa not being an Eldian. Mikasa is an Eldian. She's just like a hybrid, basically.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Because they
think
were the
her dad is
Ackermans were
Ackerman.
Eldians who were experimented on to have Titan-like powers without being able to transform into Titans.
Yeah, that's why she was stronger than everybody else.
Same with Levi.
Yeah, her dad
Yeah,
was
Levi
an
was a
unawakened
beast.
Ackerman, and her mom was Eldian. But like, I guess her dad was also Azumabito. It's both Ackerman and Azumabito that the dad was. So was
I
he
thought
a
it was
hybrid
mom
too?
no, the mom was Azumabito, right? Because the mom has the Azumabito tattoo.
Okay, so is she just not Eldian then? Was the mom part Eldian?
No, I thought the dad was Eldian.
I thought it was the dad didn't awaken. Was like the thing that like people were saying. Like I'd have to like go back, double check, but
I mean, I'm just saying that like I think she was an Azumabito because like Mikasa and her mom look alike and they look like Azumabitos.
okay, that's
So
fine.
I don't know.
Um,
You know. But I'm pretty sure she had the tattoo. The mom was the one that had tattoo.
that's fine.
How did you guys? I don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
jump.
because the people were mad, like
Mm.
the human traffickers were mad that the other human trafficker killed the mom
Right.
because she was like rare.
Yeah, okay.
And she would have gone for a lot.
Yeah.
So here's that. But had he awakened? I mean, maybe he just didn't. But had the dad awakened? Maybe he just didn't need to awaken.
No, I
don't know.
agree, because
Maybe
he
he's
was
just a
living like a
normal dude.
peaceful life within the walls, so it makes
Yeah.
sense. He just never did.
Good for him.
It's the least
Seems
tragic character in
stressful to
Attack
be
on Titan.
an awakened Ackerman.
He got an axe in his head. He's the least tragic character.
I mean, hey, he died a quick death.
Guess that's fair.
A very quick one. But I don't want to jump to the ending though. I read the manga. That's why it took me so long to watch the ending, because I already knew what was going to happen, and a lot of fans was disappointed with it. Now that you've seen it in the theaters, or I mean, Camcam, I'm sure you watched the ending. Was you satisfied with it? Do you think it could have been better? Like,
Game.
I liked the ending a lot, and I thought it fit the story very well. Because the ending, I feel like is about. I feel like Attack on Titan is about not learning from your mistakes and not growing. So by them or by Parody being destroyed in the end, like I was saying, I don't know, I just feel like that's the perfect conclusion to the story because like I said, everybody was too in their trauma to really heal and to really come to a conclusion on how we should coexist as one. Like Aaron never came to a conclusion. It sounded like nobody could ever have a peaceful coexistence together as they were fighting. You know, people can't do that now. So, Anisiyama had said that Attack on Titan is a mirror of our world. So, I think
I would agree.
yeah. So, I think it fits the story pretty well.
Yeah. I do think the themes are a little flimsy and all over the place. I will say that. But when it comes to the ending, I will say I was whelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I think the
Overwhelmed.
ending
Whelmed.
was as good as the
Whelmed.
rest of the story. It's not a brilliant masterpiece, greatest piece of fiction ever written that some people like to make a reach and say it is. It's not the biggest piece of dog trash ending ever. I don't see how people could say that, considering all the different directions it goes in. It's like middle of the road, like good, like 5 out of 10, but like it's just like it just is the rest of the story basically. It's like in comparison, you want an ending to be the best part, and so in a way you could say it was a bad ending based on that, but like I wouldn't say it's bad based on that in general. What I will say, I don't understand how people can hate it so much when like maybe they can hate the direction, because I would generally agree. I think they should have gone in a different direction in general, but like that's not the direction we got. And so considering the direction we got, how was it written? I think it was written fine. Like there was a ton of different scenes here. So I don't understand how people could say the entirety of the ending was bad when realistically they're only looking at like one or two things that they just didn't like, and just ignoring all the parts that were actually pretty cool. Like, are we like, okay, let's just say that you're one of the people that hated the Eren pathetic scene and that you liked Eren being cool. Well, Eren has one pathetic scene and the rest of it, he's cool. So you do get to see that.
He's really only cool for a few episodes. Like, he's pathetic all through season 1, 2, and 3.
Yes,
Like, he's
mostly
just a
season 3.
pathetic human being. I hated him since, like, the very beginning. I was like, I don't like this dude. This dude seems sus. Like, he's just annoying. He's
A lot
the
of
worst
people think he's
protagonist.
annoying, yeah.
I love Darren.
Yeah, but
I
like
love
even
how
like
his character went from a go-lucky kid to like a savage.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
like
just don't like, maybe I'm just a misandrist, but, like, I just don't like that class of man. Because I don't think that class of man is productive or gets anything done. And Eren did not get anything done.
Eren was
And Eren
definitely
even admits
productive.
that.
He definitely got something done.
Okay, but nothing productive. Like, he didn't help the world because, like, once Armin is like, "You stupid idiot, maybe we could have done da 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 da," and Aaron's like, "You're right." Like, oh, hold on. Okay, I gotta go real quick.
Okay. Well, that being said,
No, I mean
But,
she's right though.
no, Eren was
Like his
very
whole
pathetic in that
ending,
moment.
like when he was talking to Armin, it was like that whole shit was pathetic.
Yeah, season 3 was also insufferable. I never want to watch season 3 again, the first half. Eren ruined that season for me, honestly. Aside from that, I think season 1, 2, and the second half of season 3, I think he has some pathetic moments. He has some cool moments. So I think that really isn't like a big deal. Like I liked Eren in the first 3-4 seasons, specifically season 4 when I really liked him. I didn't like him in season 3, but either way, like for season 1, I thought he was cool. Season 2 was going down a little bit, a little dip. Season 3, it's bottom of the barrel, but like season 4, it brought him back up. It was pretty cool. Like even going in the finale, he's like, "Yeah, I think one way and you think the other. When people have such strong convictions, it's only natural they're gonna clash. And so we'll be in conflict. It's only inevitable." He isn't like even saying to like kill him. He's specifically going out of his way to say the phrase, "Make me draw my last breath." Like, yeah, that's just the coolest way he could have said that.
Yeah,
Like,
the fact that he didn't control, like he had the ability to control all the other Titans, and he let them have free will.
exactly.
Like
That's cool.
yeah, yeah.
And again, other cool
knew
things in
that
the
he wanted
finale.
to, but why? Like, explain it to me. Like, I missed the point. Like, why did he want to die? Like, why go through all that just to die? Was it just to end the Titan race, or like what was going on?
So the thing with that's really weird is because the worm exists, and that's like a third party wrench in the gear that Eren should have had more contingencies for, since it just seemingly got away anyways. That realistically was the enemy of Attack on Titan, and Eren just ignored that entirely. So imagine if Naruto just like didn't fight Kaguya for no reason. Like, this doesn't work. That being said, why he died, you could argue it's the same reason that Erwin and Hanji died, is because he's just like done with it. He's basically just choosing to end it all. But he could have faked his death, and that would have led to the same outcome of the world being the heroes who killed Eren and freed the world from the rumbling. The reason I think Eren didn't do that is, having rewatched the finale, Eren puts a lot of emphasis on he doesn't want to risk anything. He's doing this because he knows it's guaranteed. Hypothetically, if Eren faked his death, and if that's ever found out ever, that obviously jeopardizes everything. And there's also a misconception that Eren just saw everything. He didn't see everything. He only saw glimpses of the future, whatever he showed Grisha. So it's not like Eren knew exactly what was going to happen. He just saw like flashpoint, like a PowerPoint presentation of events that happen in the future. But he doesn't know how that future transpires. That's what he's saying right before he saves Ramsey and Marley from the guys that are trying to beat him up. Because he's like, oh yeah, I think I saved this kid, but like, what if I didn't do that? And then he does it anyways. But like before that, he's saying that he doesn't know how things happen.
That kid, you talking the one that was getting beat up?
Yeah.
By those bigger dudes?
Yeah.
No, he was saying like, why save him? Because he's gonna die anyways.
Yeah, that's afterwards. I'm talking about like before that, in that same scene, because he's like walking down the street first before he goes to that alleyway and sees that. Yeah, so he knows the rumbling happens, but he doesn't know like how it could possibly lead to this. Whatever pushed him to that point, he just knows it does happen.
Yeah, but he knows it happens because that's what he truly desires. So that's the ending he's always going to get.
Yeah. But like, I feel like that's especially emphasized with the fact that he sees like the pregnant lady and then thinks back to Carla, his mom, and that those who are born in the world are special.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what they were going for there. But yeah.
But his specialness overrides everybody else's, you know.
Yeah. But again, like, regardless of Eren's patheticness,
you know, sometimes.
Another thing that I see people really complain about is they hate the fact that Ymir loved King Fritz. I thought that was an interesting plot revelation. I think it worked the way it was written.
I don't think it's interesting. I just saw it as like, oh, yeah, that happens to traumatized women. Yeah.
It was a big revelation. Well, we weren't expecting it at the time.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting it at the time, but like the way the story played, I was like, oh, that's not surprising.
The way they played it out, I'm talking about the reveal itself. It felt like a big plot twist almost. Yeah, because we expected her to hate King Fritz. We didn't understand why she went back to a system or whatever. The reason was because she loved him. We just didn't know the reason.
I don't know. I mean, I think it made perfect sense, and it just wasn't very surprising to me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like that because they think that Ymir just shouldn't have loved her, but she did.
I mean, it's Stockholm Syndrome. Read a psychology book, bros. Like, I'm sorry, you just don't open a book. That's my complaint. Read a book.
He looks like, and Ood looks like he reads Harry Potter books. So
why?
Ood doesn't read at all. Is the problem.
Why Harry Potter specifically, let alone read it?
I have no idea. I just get that vibe.
I haven't even seen the movies.
I've actually read Harry Potter like 8 times.
I have to admit that I have read the books as well.
So, yeah.
I have never seen the movies, but watched the books. Read the books. My bad.
Look at these nerds over here.
I've watched the movies a million times.
What? Fuck you.
Yeah. But again, just based on like the ending hate. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Space is saying people have brought up issues with the Stockholm Syndrome argument. Oh, boo-hoo! Cry me a river.
Well, Camcam, I do think it's a little bit unfair just to dismiss it as Stockholm Syndrome and saying that it can't go any further than that. I think it's interesting to at least analyze it further than that, but either way.
Well, I mean, you can analyze it further than that because, like, it's psychology. Hello, like...
Yeah, but like I feel like just saying, "Oh, she was a girl," and then because guys do that, it's Stockholm syndrome. Like I feel like
No,
it's a
I'm just
little bit more.
I'm what I'm saying is that it's very common for traumatized women to fall in love with like their abusers, like
Yeah.
what 1 in 4
Yes,
women will be victims of domestic violence, like
I
Oh.
just feel like that's taken away from the reveal to say it's common because it's almost like saying you almost expected it in a sense, or like that you're not surprised by it.
no.
I mean, that's how the story like pointed to.
Well, the
She was
story didn't
stuck on
say
him.
Stockholm syndrome.
It didn't say that, but it was like alluding to it.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't
space. I
have
did
to say
also
sorry, you don't have to
uh,
say a person has Stockholm syndrome like verbally in the show to like recognize that.
yeah.
Not to recognize that it could be the case, but to say that it is the case, it's different. Especially if Attack on Titan
Bruh,
is
we a
supposedly a
lawyer.
mirror of the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still fictional.
Which is exactly why he never should have said that.
Okay, space. I saw it. Yeah. So it isn't in you don't read books, and more that it is in Stockholm syndrome by definition, from what I heard. I saw a fellow woman argue against the Stockholm syndrome argument. I saw that video too, and she didn't have very good arguments. I saw it a couple years ago. So a couple years ago, probably maybe a year ago, and I just thought her arguments weren't valid, and she was a little too emotional about it. But that's my opinion on it.
To be fair, Camcam, I
If she
think
wants to talk about it, she can talk about it.
I think I'm viewing Camcam's Stockholm syndrome argument point thing or whatever it is as similarly to how she was viewing my Hanji rumbling speed point earlier. Like this isn't what I care about. I care about the narrative here. But anyway.
But yeah.
Because I care about like the psychology and like how people interact with each other in stories and the interpersonal relationships. I don't care about like speed and distance
Yeah.
and how far the Titans are covering in distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
because it's just
boring. What I'm saying is that it's boring when you like compare it back to the real world using the mirror to the real world thing.
I don't think so. Like real world is better than fiction.
Okay, well, then so what you're saying is Attack on Titan isn't perfect because it's fiction.
I don't think that's what she said.
Well, the real world's better than fiction, and if Attack on Titan is fiction, it's less better than it could be, aka not perfect.
I think
Real
I
life
have
is
made
stranger than fiction.
yeah, there's that too. But I also have said that I do have problems with some parts of the story.
What's up?
Mainly with Armin and what's her name? Annie, their relationship,
Oh, thank
Mikasa and
you.
Aaron's relationship. I just don't like, I guess, how Aaron is depicted. I feel like because people like, people don't like the ending because he goes from pathetic, or he goes from like savage mode to pathetic, and people are like, it's such like a huge switch that people don't get it. But I don't know, I kind of saw that more pathetic side in season 1, 2, and 3 very clearly, and I feel like other people didn't. So I'm thinking maybe it just wasn't clear enough for the audience. Maybe that's a fault on the author.
It's jarring. I think mainly because season 4 felt more consistent. It felt like he had matured or grown up, especially considering the first time we see
I
him
felt
in
like
season
he
4.
backtracked. I felt like he never grew. He backtracked.
Well, but the problem with
He
that,
doubled down.
I agree with you. The problem with that is because the first time we see him in season 4, when he's talking to Falco, he's talking like he actually understands it, when the finale would just tell us that he just didn't at all along.
He understood that part of it, that him and Reiner are the same. And like he's like, yeah, I understand where you guys are coming from, but I'm gonna still do what I want because I think I'm right.
Not the Reiner conversation from episode 5. I'm talking about episode 3 when he's still being like Aaron Kruger and like he's talking with Falco with the sunset while the trees next to him when he's outside, and he's talking about like war and how it's hell, and like you see like all the PTSD trauma victims behind them like banging their head on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, you can understand a concept without internalizing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but I feel like that scene was telling the audience that Aaron had internalized it. Just having rewatched it recently.
See, and I think the opposite. Maybe, and like I said, maybe it just wasn't made clear enough by the author. I will admit that. But from when I saw it, I was like, oh, he just hasn't internalized that yet. He understands it from like a logical standpoint, but he has not internalized it yet.
Yeah. I think it was just jarring because of scenes like that, especially, but then the rest of it was also consistent. Like the fact, like, it doesn't make sense, because then why wasn't he pathetic when he nuked the freaking building to fight the Warhammer Titan? Like Mikasa said, he killed children. He's like, whatever. All right, let's fight this girl now.
Because he doesn't care at the end of the day.
Then why does he care in the rumbling?
Okay, I think was shown. I think he did care based on his conversation with Ramsey. He did care, but now wasn't the time to care. At that moment wasn't the time to care. You
but then why is the rumbling the time to care then? What's the difference between those two scenes?
Because it's the end game.
It's not an answer.
Space also said, anyway, so should we talk about AOT Requiem, since this is a rewrite to the ending? We haven't truly talked about it yet. Space, I don't know if you know this, but I have no interest in rewrites. So I would not be interested. I would not be interested in watching AOT Requiem, to be completely honest.
I will.
I haven't seen it yet, but I am interested in watching it, or at least reacting to it.
I did want to ask y'all a question because I gotta go in a few.
Yeah.
Because restaurants is about to close soon, and I'm hungry as hell. But how did y'all feel about like Camcam? You didn't see it? Right? Can look it up on YouTube. There was like an ending where Armin.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Attack on Titan in the oh crap.
I think you're good now.
Oh okay. There was like Armin, Mikasa, Aaron in the movie theaters watching Attack, and like one of the parts in their dialogue, there was a sequel. Would you like to see a sequel? Like, do you guys think that there are like just a done, it's a wrap?
Yeah. So to clarify what Free Game's talking about, at the end of the Attack on Titan Last Attack movie, they adapted the gag manga Camcam, so you have seen this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just one of the scenes. It wasn't like the whole thing, obviously. It was specifically, if you remember, it was the part where like Eren, Mikasa, and Armin are like talking, like breaking the fourth wall about Attack on Titan, like they just seen it in the theaters, and then like Armin was saying it was bad, and then Mikasa was saying it was good, and then at the end, Eren is like, "Oh, I'm just glad I got to see it with my friends." If you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember anything about like them saying it was like there would be a sequel.
So in the scene, I'm pretty sure it is adapted from the novel, or not novel, but like manga as well. In the scene, it's implied that, because they're like, man, I can't believe Titans actually existed 100 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then they're like panning upwards and showing like the huge tree in the background. I think that's actually only in the movie. That's not adapted from the manga, but that might be in the manga. But that's implying that it's the same universe, which doesn't make sense because this just is obviously Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, stuff like that. It's really weird. Like, was this on parody? Like, it felt like it was the real world, but also like that scene just can't be canon because there was literally just like a dead body in the background of the scene in the movie. So I don't understand. And there was also a Levi bit there. It's like Levi's canon here too. So I don't know, unless we're just going with like genetics are just like 1-to-1 in the Attack on Titan universe.
Oh my gosh.
All the kids look the same.
Yeah. Might as well just be Boruto at that point. I don't think they're trying to hint at a sequel. I do think, if anything, the after credit scene of like the kid and his dog walking into the tree is a much better idea to set up for a sequel if they ever want to go that route. I think that's why they left that there, not because they intend to do anything with it, but to leave it open in the future in case they wanted to do something. But I do think it almost takes away from the ending of Attack... Well, not almost. It does take away from the ending of Attack on Titan if they do a sequel, because this is now a world without Titans, as they're saying in Historia's letter, and how they're adapting to it. And just everything they do with Ymir in the finale, if they do anything beyond that, it's almost disrespecting Ymir as a character, who essentially is the reason the story existed in the first place. Like, yes, Aaron's the main character, you can argue Armin's the protagonist at points, but it feels like Ymir is like the central conflict, and once Ymir was resolved, not Aaron, not Armin, but Ymir, that's when the story was able to end. Because she was able to move on. So like there's nothing more to show that was necessary for that story. So you would just have to tell a completely different story that's just set in the Attack on Titan universe. Obviously, but I feel like that's to a degree disrespectful, but not really.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I would watch the sequel, of course, but like I would see it as disrespectful as well. I feel like the AOT that we got, it was pretty open and shut, you know.
Yeah. Plus, like, where do they even go from here? Because they introduce like all the concepts they could have possibly worked with in like the most high octane action epic finale world shaking battle possible. Like you don't go beyond the rumbling or all previous 9 Titan generations coming back to fight the main characters. You can't escalate it beyond that. So.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I just want to know your opinion. But yeah, so sorry I had to leave a little early, but
no
yeah,
worries.
I'm hungry. I gotta go on this
All
little
good.
Valentine's Day thing. So
Yeah,
it was a pleasure speaking with you guys. We
Yeah, it was good to talk to you.
You said what?
I said it was good talking to you. I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Oh, you said you wanted to talk to me. I was say, if you want to get, but yeah, it was a good talk. Should have me on too. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Peace to you.
Okay, Camcam, did you want to talk more Attack on Titan, or did you want to end stream here?
Well, do you have anything more you want to talk about?
Just based on the points we already covered, I felt like I had more to say on the finale hate. Specifically that people hating the finale entirely. Again, I feel like that doesn't make sense to me based on all the cool things they do. Like, again, if you hate one or two different aspects, we already talked about that. But, like, again, like, things that we just talked about. Like, even if you want to say that you hated Aaron's patheticness, then you actually got to see the rumbling. It still happened. Yeah, it wasn't the full rumbling. But, like, I feel like they didn't show it not being the full rumbling. Technically, they did by the Titans stopping and the people at the cliff, like, living. But, like, I feel like the only thing we didn't get to see... We got to see the full thing. It's just that Aaron said 80% at the end instead of, like, 99%. That's realistically the only difference. And that's just like an arbitrary thing. Is
still full. I feel like that is...
That is still the full rumbling, yeah. But, like, regardless, we got to see the rumbling. I don't care if it was stopped halfway. We got to see the full-on carnage. It's a quality thing, not a quantity thing. So if you are a rumbling supporter, you got it. There you go. I got to see it. I was fully satisfied with that. Or if you want to see them stop Aaron, they did it in the coolest way possible. They're gonna, like, regardless of the rumbling, Aaron just has a cool design. His big, bony skeleton thing that's like a centipede, they describe it as. That's a cool design as it is. So hey, that's in the finale. That's a cool thing in the finale. You get a colossal Titan fist brawl. That's cool. That's a cool concept they got to play with. Again, they brought the 9 Titans back. You got to see that. Freaking Reiner is drop kicking some of those Titans. That's a cool fight. You get the ODM gear. You get the what's the thunder spears. You get thunder spears. Those are cool. You get all the characters wrapping up all their things. You get like the baby scene with them like holding the baby up so it doesn't fall off the cliff. Obviously like religious symbolism there, but like that's a cool scene in general, regardless of your thoughts on everything else. You get to see like zebras running away from the rumbling. You get to see like Aaron's grandparents killed. I mean, if you like rumbling, there you go. You get to see a baby being born at somewhere across the world. I thought that was like one of the low-key most underrated scenes in the entire finale. It's like a 3-second scene, but they just cut to a woman giving birth. We don't know her. We don't know the baby. It's not related. It's just a woman giving birth, showing that like life is continuing on even at this current moment, which is very important considering Armin and Zeke's conversation, which was another aspect of the finale. We got that. Are you gonna say that was also there's nothing to salvage from it at all?
Hold on just a minute. Hold on.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but even in that scene, I'll just keep talking even though Camcam's not here. We get freaking Bertolt, my favorite character, and then Bertolt as the Colossal Titan actually comes back to save them. And if you liked Attack on Titan before, guess what? Ymir also came back, which Camcam would have loved that. She actually was there, not in flesh and bone, but her soul was there, considering I guess they go to the paths and there is no death concept in the paths. And then
okay, sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying that Bertolt and Ymir actually came back. And like, if you don't like the finale, then you just hate those characters too the entire way through. I know that you like Ymir, so I'm sure you were glad to see her in the finale as the weird bony jaw titan form that she was in.
Yeah, I did.
Exactly.
And I also liked seeing what are they called? The Marley troops and the characters that we knew and loved like work together as a team. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool, yeah. We got to see Armin actually transform and like nuke, regardless of him doing it to Eren. We got to see that. I liked seeing the Colossal Titan's transformations. We got a small fight with the worm, and the worm actually used its like gas thing to transform like Gabby and everyone. So if you hate Gabby, then I guess you love the finale. I guess it's not all bad.
Oh, and we got to see a Reiner, and his mom, like, and then Annie and the dad, like fix their relationships. You know,
like how could we not get that? How can people say the entire finale is bad when like there's no way people could say that's bad?
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff out of it. You know, I think you have to weigh the pros and cons and things, and that's why I think like some people are just too in their emotions.
Yeah, like Eren and Armin actually saw the beauty around the world.
Yeah, that too, and that was animated really well.
Yeah, it was. It was technically only in the path, so it was quote unquote fake or whatever, but they still saw it. They wanted the sight of it, not to actually be there.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to say that they wanted to complete that journey in their lives, you know.
Exactly. And they actually did it together, which we weren't expecting that to happen after the return to Shiganshina arc. Well, not after, but like during Armin's sacrifice, they're fighting Bertolt. So we actually did get it. Like there's so many cool concepts that they introduced or show in the finale. Even Ymir, she actually like had a mind of her own. She wasn't just following Eren. She was doing her own thing. She captured Armin seemingly against Eren's wishes.
Yeah.
Because even Armin says she wants to see the world be destroyed too. So she genuinely did want that. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, they should have played a little bit more with that concept of Ymir being a little bit more of a loose cannon. Yeah, it could have been interesting, like a Death Note sort of like Light and L kind of battle of like Eren versus Ymir, Battle of the Minds during the rumbling. That could have been cool.
Yeah, or I mean, I think it was made to be a little bit more. Is ambiguous the word? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like Obito and Madara's like fake alliance, like they're fighting together in the war, but like they're obviously not trustworthy of one another.
Yeah.
But I feel like
it was more like that.
I feel like even that had a lot more there in the story rather than Eren and Ymir's thing here.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think just a lot of people just loved Eren, and I think from one YouTuber that I watched, he did say that he felt like the way they made Aaron out to be and how like it ended with Aaron, it felt like it was a betrayal to Aaron's character, and that Isayama like betrayed the audience almost.
Bro, Aaron's entire character is a betrayal to his character. The finale didn't ruin Aaron. The entire show did.
Aaron ruined himself.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like people forget season 3 happened.
Honestly, yeah, people do.
Like,
And
oh my God.
I think just because a character is a protagonist doesn't mean all their actions are benevolent just because they're the protagonist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Camcam, I'm be honest with you. Kami's gonna protest once he realizes this is a thing. Whenever we finish season 2 of our rewatch of Attack on Titan, you guys are just gonna have to watch the first half of season 3 without me. Like, I don't want to rewatch it. We already rewatched it with Trippy, so I've already rewatched it with you. I don't ever want to rewatch the first half of season 3 ever again.
Lame.
I know what happened.
Lame.
Okay, if we're gonna spend, if all 3 of us have time together, I want us to spend it doing more productive things. We
You
have
know what?
limited time together.
I thought the same thing, you know, when I watched it with Oodie and Drippy. Okay, I thought it was gonna be productive, and you know what? It wasn't productive. I could have spent my time doing anything else. Okay, but I
Exactly.
watched it on 2 times speed, which I never watch anything on 2 times speed. Okay, nothing.
With Super Bunny Man.
And then I watched them play Super Bunny Man in the corner.
But it was pretty fun.
It wasn't fun for me.
Well, you know what, Cam? If Super Bunny Man
wanted
was
to die.
drawing your eye that much, that just tells you how unappealing season 3 is.
Look, I can't even play video games because I'm like, look at this, look at that. Oh my god, what's happening? You know, can't multitask. I can't multitask.
Oh, that's hilarious. So I'm sorry we ruined it for you, but to be fair, it was already ruined for us.
Then you shouldn't have offered to rewatch it, okay? As a group project.
Cam, would you believe us if we said we tried our best?
You did not try your best.
Being there at all was trying my best. Okay,
No, it wasn't.
that's why
No,
I'm
it
not
wasn't.
trying
Because you
my
did
best
not-
now.
Because you did not ask for my input either, okay? I say you're being more honest here, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your candor.
Yes, well, my honesty is that I'm not gonna try my best because I'm not gonna be there when you two rewatch it.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I think you two should do that on nights where I am not available. Just for like efficiency wise of scheduling of our time and all that, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my idea. Okay. Obviously we have infinite more things to say, but I feel like Kamui would be mad if he wasn't here. So.
You calmly would feel left out. Poor baby.
Yeah, he'd be like, Oodie, how dare you? He wouldn't
would get
even
his feelings
blame
hurt.
me. He would only blame me.
He would. Yeah, he would. You know, he could blame free game too. You know.
Well, he wouldn't blame free game, but then I would shift the entire of the burden onto free game. So I'd be in the clear.
Just throw him under the bus.
I already got my way out. Yeah. One foot in, one foot out.
You already have it all set up.
Yes. In fact, I thought one of Space's things that he said towards the beginning of the podcast was absolutely hilarious. He said, if Kamui isn't here, then it is less likely that there will be a long debate about a topic.
I mean, that is true.
Is he wrong?
That is space. You have never told a lie. Okay, you ain't never told a lie in your life.
True. I actually forgot she was half. Same goes with Levi. I assume, but okay, yeah, that's about that one conversation. Okay, yeah. So I feel like that's everything that we had to address for tonight.
Yeah, chat's having their own discussion. So
yeah, will AOT recommend we talk about? Okay, yeah, so we already covered everything else. So yeah, I guess that's that. What I do want to do, Camcam, is I do want to stay in call so we could go watch our own things, but specifically, I want to go see the boat scene and the Hanji scene and just like rewatch
Okay.
that for like a fourth time or whatever time it is, just with you, and like see if like the things we talked about were like true or not. Specifically, the things that
Mhm.
I think do make sense. I just am not thinking of the reason of like how it makes sense of how they got in front of the rumbling, then behind it, then in front of it, then behind it, and like how they're okay with getting on the boat and all that. Yeah, okay, I do want to see that. Just like consistency.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Thanks everyone for watching. Say bye,
Thank you.
Camcam. Bye.
Bye.